I still don't know how to do an intro, and I'm here with a very untimely idea of matching my top 5 listened to songs of 2024 with books that I read in 2024. It's March, so, you know, that's why I said untimely. But we're still doing it. And so I guess without further ado, this is not going to be a very rambly intro. Let's get into, I'm going to do it backwards, so unfortunately you are going to have to stay until the end to see what was number 1 if you really want to. But number 5, I still don't have a physical copy of it, but it's If We Were At, well, I guess I should say the song first. So my number 5 song listened to of the year was Poison from the Has Been Hotel soundtrack. I do have the vinyl. I did not position it where I could have, but I do have the vinyl. And this is the inside. Is Angel Dust like? I mean, Angel Dust is in here, but like, this is the back. He's not on the back either. But yeah, so Poison's on side A, if you want to look at that. I think it's the second to last track. But anyway, yeah. I really listened to that song a lot, especially at the beginning of the year when I was listening to the soundtrack a lot. It's my favorite song from the soundtrack, and I love Suffering. And it's a banger, like, I mean, the whole soundtrack is great. But like, I don't know, I love it. And so I listened to it a bunch. And so it was my number 5 overall listened to song of 2024. Now, what book did I associate with this very, like, not niche, but like it's in a musical, I should say. So it's like not as generic as some of the other songs are. So it was a little harder to match up a book to it. But I landed on If We Were Villains, which I do not have a physical copy of. Possibly might add it in the corner somewhere, maybe not. But I decided on If We Were Villains because if you don't know, Poison is a very, like, it's about, like, an abusive relationship, basically. And just, like, all of the relationships in If We Were Villains are pretty toxic. So that's how I, like, correlated the two. I'm not gonna play any of the songs, even though, like, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not monetized if I get a copyright strike, I don't think. But that's also more editing, and I don't feel like editing that. So that's more so the reason why I'm not including songs, but I am going to give you some lyrics from the songs. So the lyrics from Poison that I felt like resonated the most with If We Were Villains are, and I am going to, like, kind of sing it, because there's no way I can read lyrics without singing them. Like, it's very hard to do that for me. So, what's the worst part of this hell? I can only blame myself, are the lyrics that I picked. Because again, like, the messiness happens because of the main characters. Like, no power or entity is responsible for their bad decisions. It's just all them and their crazy, like, ness, I guess, for lack of a better word. My brain isn't 100% on the vocabulary today. Moving on, because I think that's pretty much all I can say about that one, is my number 4 song. Number 4 is a song called Cast the Bronze by, I think the artist is, I think it's pronounced Raines? Rays? Raynes. And it's more of like an acoustic song. And it's really, I also would recommend it. It was a little easier to decide what book to go with this song. Although, like, this would more apply to, like, the middle of the book more so than like, the end. Because it's, like, the song is basically about, like, not being good enough for somebody, kinda. The chorus is, like, great. I did not actually pick any of the chorus for the corresponding lyrics, but I think that's more so because, like, the chorus doesn't relate as well to the book necessarily than the lines that I chose. Anyway, did I tell you what the book is? I don't think so, because I have it, so I would be holding it up. It's A Power Unbound, which I do have the special edition of. It has sprayed edges. I believe I showed this in one of... For some reason, it's only on the side. It's not on the top and the bottom. Those are just black. But I digress. That's also, I guess, gonna be my new catchphrase, because editing the last video, I said that so many times. But yes, so A Power Unbound is the book that I chose, which is the third book in the... What's it called? I don't remember. The first book is A Marvelous Light. And I don't, it's like, yeah, I don't remember. But you can Google it. But anyway, the lyrics that I chose for this from Cast the Bronze were both, these are like two different, they're, I guess the pre-chorus, but like, I guess the pre-chorus, like, they lead up to the chorus. But they're like, I guess also kind of the verses too. Anyway, it's just two separate, like, one from the first verse, I guess, slash the first pre-chorus, and then the one from the second verse slash second pre-chorus. So the lines are, I'm getting bored or getting old because the book is focused on our grumpy war veteran who is, I don't know, getting bored or getting old. Felt like that was appropriate. And also there are lyrics that I thought resonated with him that go, I try to care but just care less, because that is him. He in the first two books especially, it's like he doesn't care, he's just there because he happens to be there and he might as well help out. But he's the main character in this one, so obviously he's more active. But yeah, I thought those two lyrics corresponded pretty well with this one. Out of all of the other books I read this year. So, that brings us to number 3. Wow, I'm getting through this much faster than I thought I was going to. This has only, like, been 11 minutes, and it's gonna be shorter, because I'm, like, gonna edit it a little bit. Wow. And crazy after a 40-plus minute wrap-up video. But anyway, the third song is Tear in Space by Glass Animals. You can't really tell, but I am wearing the Glass Animals hoodie I got when I went to their concert, which was amazing, and I got to see this song live, and it was amazing. This song is only number 3 because it didn't come out until, like, August, I think. Or it would have been higher on the list. Like, it would have been number 2, probably. Maybe even number 1, I don't know. But yeah, it came out in August, so I didn't have most of the year to listen to it. Absolute banger. The it's just, it starts out so well, and like the beat is so catchy, like it's amazing. Honestly, like their entire new album is fantastic. But yeah, no, that song in particular, which is one of the singles they released before the whole album, is amazing. And like the beat is just very like, it was in my head all the time. And the lyrics are great too. So the book that I chose, it's not really a spoiler, and I'm not going to talk about it in super spoilery details, and also, it's the 4th book in a series, so like, what am I gonna do? It is, if you've been paying attention to any of these, know what I mean when I said the 4th book in a series, but it's The Sunshine Court, which I got the nice dust jacket for. Can't remember if I had this in the last video. I probably did, where I talked about it. This is the original. I'm trying not to drop it. The original cover is this one. And the 2nd book came out very recently, and I have not read it yet because I have not gotten a physical copy of it, and since I stare at computer screens all day for my job, I didn't want to get the ebook because I didn't want to stare at a screen that long. This is the 4th book in the All for the Game series. It focuses on our main character, Jean, and really this entire song could be sung by Jean, quite frankly. I did not pick out, like, I didn't write down, rather, a specific lyric set, because really, it's the entire song, kind of not, as well, but it's very, like, again, kind of like low-key toxic relationship vibes, just more abstract, because it's not from a musical, but yeah, so I will get some lyrics, because my battery's about to die, even though I thought I checked it before I started recording. So you won't notice the difference, but I charge my battery, look up some actual lyrics, narrow it down somehow for our lovely Jean here. Okay, so I picked out some lyrics for A Tear in Space. This battery is not completely fully charged because I was impatient. It is Aries season, so I hope this lasts, but we'll see. The lyrics I picked out, because like I said, there are so many, but I'll just do this chunk that's from the first verse, which is, "Sit in my blood, maybe too much, never enough. I am your dog, I'm on your floor. All that you want, but I like you, like your drugs." And then there's more. And yeah, the rhyming doesn't quite work when I sing it because I'm not the lead singer of Glass Animals. Dave, I think is his name. I don't remember his last name. And also the chorus, if you know, you know, is very applicable, and it's just, water running down my face, water running different ways, water like a billion waves, water just a tear in space. So yeah, I didn't hold the book for that. I'm probably threw off continuity there, but I already told you the battery died, so it wasn't like you thought this was the same time anyway. But yes, Tear in Space by Glass Animals, very The Sunshine Court vibes. The second song that I listened to the most was Fields of Verdun by Sabaton. I don't think I've ever talked about Sabaton on this channel at this point, because it just hasn't come up. I recently got into them, and they're not like a general, like, they're not like the type of, like, they're not, it's a heavy metal band that sings about military history from Sweden. So not like the rest of the music that I listen to. But they have 2 albums specifically about World War One that was like my gateway into them, and now I just listen to all of their songs. And I did actually see them in person because they were the openers for Judas Priest. So I went to that show because not the nosebleeds, but almost the nosebleeds were like reasonably priced. And I was like, you know what? They don't come to the US that often. I might as well. Basically, it was really fun. My second song was Fields of Verdun by Sabaton, which is about the Battle of Verdun, which is, oh shit, what, yeah, I mean, it's World War One. It's on their first World War One album, which is The Great War. What year? I think it started in 1916. Don't remember the exact date. It's been a hot second since I saw dates, finished. I watched a Great War week by week series. It's been a while since I watched that series, so I don't remember the date. But because of the lyrics in the song, and just in general, I believe it was the longest battle in World War One, and it was 303 days. I know that because in the song, one of the lyrics is 300 days below the sun, Fields of Verdun, and then it goes into the chorus. So anyway, Fields of Verdun is about a battle in World War One. So I was like, I should choose one of the World War One books that I read, and I thought the more applicable one was The Warm Hands of Ghosts, because while it doesn't take place in Verdun, it does, like, you know, reference Passchendaele a lot, which is another, like, bloody battle in World War One. I don't know if they were going on at the same time. They were definitely in, like, different parts of the front, so it's very possible they could have been going on at the same time. And now I want to Google that later to see, but I'm pretty sure Passchendaele was after Verdun. I feel like that's correct, but I'm not sure. Anyway, if you'll remember from my review, Passchendaele, actually, I don't know if I went on a tangent about Passchendaele in the wrap-up, but basically Passchendaele was a terrible battle. In the first place, I hate Sir Douglas Haig. I'm not gonna go on a tangent about that. I will just say that Passchendaele was not a good idea in the first place, because it started in the fall when it started to rain a bunch, and, like, it was just mud, nothing but mud, like, basically impossible to, like, bring artillery through, much less people, like, walking through, like, mud everywhere. People, like, drowned in the mud, which I think I might have mentioned, because they, like, kind of mention in this that, you know, her brother died, but they couldn't recover anything because he, like, presumably died in the mud in Passchendaele. I digress. That's enough of a history lesson to prime you for the lyrics that I chose, because despite this being about the Battle of Verdun, there is a very applicable lyric that can be applied to Passchendaele. The lyrics I chose, though, are, as they die in the mud, fill the trenches with blood. That's probably as close to a non-lyrical reading as you're gonna get, because I can't, like, I don't know, it's so upbeat and, like, yelly that, like, saying it somewhat lyrically is hard. But, yeah, as they die in the mud, fill the trenches with blood is more how it goes musically. And that's actually, I think, the lead up to the second chorus. So, anyway, that's what I picked for that one. I think I rambled. I think this is the longest I've taken on a book. And it's probably the longest I'm going to take on a book because the next and number one song, I can't get into why I chose it too much without spoiling the book. And unlike the Regeneration trilogy, you might want to read it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But without further ado, the number one song that I listened to in 2024 was Intros and Narrators by Bastille. I want to say Intros and Narrators is the one that came out in August, and Here in Space actually probably came out in June. That makes more sense, I think. But anyway, it came out like later in the year, and it's still the number one song of the year, which tells you how many times I listened to this song. The album itself, I don't think it was my most listened to album, but I do think it was number 2, and number 1 was the Has Been Hotel soundtrack. So yeah, anyway, and now I'm back in my Bastille era, so it's cool. And the book that I chose for Intros and Narrators is Dark Air. And I won't get into too many details. One, because this is a sequel, so I can't say too much about the plot without giving away plot elements from the first book. And 2, I can't get into why I picked it for the song too much either, because it's like a low-key spoiler for the first book. But not really, not really. So, oh, and the first book is Dark Rise, by the way, if you didn't know. The lyrics that I chose, from Intros and Narrators, is I'm your friend, your lover, and your traitor, which I will just leave with, you that piece of information. Intros and Narrators is all about unreliable narrators. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler, because you know from the start that he, the main character, so it's set in, 19th century London, I think, but, our main character keeps having, visions of, a different, time period, a more fantasy thing. So, anyway, unreliable narrator. One more plug about the new Bastille. Well, it's not even that new anymore, but Bastille's newest album, is just, I love it so much. It's about, historical people, and concepts. There's one about, there's one about Eve from, the story of Adam and Eve, which is really good. There's one about Narcissus. There's one about Oscar Wilde. And then, there's a lot of other ones. And there's also, a podcast that they did, going over the historical bits. And it's so good. I recommend it so much. And it's also not the style is a lot more bare bones, acoustic type style than their normal more synthy pop aesthetic. So if you're but I don't really like Bastille, which, why? But anyway, if you don't like, their other music, maybe still listen to this one if that sounds like a jam, because it's really good, and it's not like their other music. So that's, I think, enough of me talking about Bastille. Like I said, I'm in my Bastille era again. Fun fact, I might have mentioned this before, but I did listen to them before Pompeii was on the radio, which was over 10 years ago now, and I don't like thinking about that because the passage of time is scary. But anyway, that is this video. I don't think I can ramble too much about anything else. So I guess let me know if you liked this kind of video. I can probably do, like, I know I've done one other matching music and books, like, video type thing, and that was, like, forever ago, though. And I think I actually did use the music, but anyway, this one was more of, like, I wanted to combine, like, the top 5 songs that I listened to of the year with, like, books I actually read that year, whereas the other one was just random. But, I mean, if you want more me picking songs and matching them to books content, I can do that, probably. So, I guess just, you know, let me know in the comments. And yeah, like I said, I found something else to ramble about. Now I do think I'm actually done, so I'll see you in the next one, whenever that one is.